Hello, hello, hello. Time for a sponge video. I love the way this feels. This is a sponge I ordered on Amazon. It is nice. I wanted a sponge that has knobs that go in between the fork pieces, but these knobs are not long enough. And also when I wash dishes with this, the soap suds splatter on me, and I don't like that. I don't like soap suds on my body or clothes. So I always rinse everything very well because I don't want any sticky soap stuff on it. So I had to reutilize this now. I eyeballed this from the beginning on as this purpose. So So I'm glad I only ordered one. I was very, very eager to buy a whole bag, but glad I just got this one. It cost about $3 including shipping. That's pretty nice. I think from China. It's awesome, and the way this feels is incredible, and I love this also as foot sole material, the same material. And I like here the sound. I like the way this sounds. It's really awesome. Almost like a cricket. So yeah, I got my matching putty to match the sponge, and sort of like a matching shirt with shoulder free. Nice. It's not really a shoulder free shirt, but I use it as that because it is so wide on the top, so, and it's kind of loose fitting, so it's kind of nice. I like the way that looks. It's cool. So yeah, I have been fascinated with ghosts things as long as I exist. From day one, really, I've been fascinated with it. My dad had a he had this thing. It is a little coffin, and when you put a coin in the front, it will make this sound like, and a hand, a pale green hand, like this color, this green, comes out of it, reaches out and grabs the coin and takes the coin into the coffin. And he's had this thing, I don't know where he got this, maybe in an antique store or something, but he's had that for a long time. I'll never forget that. And so I've already been fascinated. I've been fascinated endlessly with that thing. And I would always scream and snicker, and already when I was 1 year old, and I couldn't wait to do this every day, put the coin in it, and then this hand would come up, and there's something about it, some kind of amazing energy in this. And then I don't know, when I got older, like 5 or 6, I took that whole thing apart because I wanted to know who was in there. And my dad was very sad that I damaged that entire coffin. And then it wasn't working anymore afterwards. But I needed to know what's inside. I also took the skulls of my dolls. I took them all apart. I poked into it. I tore the plastic, the rubber off, and I cut into it with scissors, and I wanted to know what's inside the skull. So I am still the same today, but more in terms of psychology and neurology. So, but yeah, this has always fascinated me. And the dolls, they had nothing inside, so they were empty on the inside. It was just an empty shell, and I was disappointed. So, but I've always been absolutely fascinated with anything metaphysical, with psychology, philosophy, with the paranormal. I started reading paranormal books, the so-called parapsychology books. When I was 11, somewhere around 11, I started to read all of these books that my dad had in his shelf. He had a whole library full of that stuff, and it fascinated me without end, and it's still the same thing today. So that fascinates me the most. And so when I found Graveyard Girls videos, Bunny is her name, when I found her through Shane Dawson's videos, I found Shane Dawson through Trisha Paytas a couple of years ago, because Trisha Paytas is such a hot chick and no one can overlook that. And so I found him through her, and then I saw that he had changed, he had become more mature, and he's allowing himself to be chubby, which is nice. And then through him I saw Bunny, and I felt an immediate connection to her. My comments are probably falling under the radar, and I comment all the time to her. I'm very inspired with certain things she talks about, shows and stuff, and I have a lot to say in this field, but I doubt that she'll ever see me. She'll never see me. She'll never know that I even exist. And that is something, that is a feeling, you know, it goes into all of these areas. But this is so incredibly important. Before I talk about haunted houses, this is so incredibly important. 1 second. Baba dog, hi. Yes, oh, yes. Okay. I had to greet Papa Dog. He came onto the couch. So that is this is the subject that is the most important for us to talk about, and that is the subject, you know, celebrity doesn't know I exist. Or celebrity, oh, he knows I exist. You know, it's both of these things belong together, and it is all, why even talk about it at all? You know, why make a fuss about it? Why do people line up in fast food restaurants when they see their favorite YouTuber? You know, like, I need to take a photo with that guy. Oh my gosh, now I am somebody. Before I was like the paint on the wall, you know, so blended in, you know. But, you know, why do you blend yourself in is my question, you know. Why do you do it? You blend yourself in out of fear, but then you wonder why you're blended in, right? So you can't be yourself. And I tell you, every single person out there is an individual. But you blend yourselves in out of fear, and then you feel bad about it, that you're blended in. But you blended yourselves in because you refuse to be an individual. You refuse your idiosyncrasies, and you refuse to talk about your fears. You refuse to talk about what makes you feel really good, you know, the real things that makes you feel good, you know, the gay guy that doesn't want to come out of the closet, or the gay girl that doesn't want to come out of the closet, or the girl who is straight and has a love for haunted houses but doesn't come out of the closet with that either, because they don't want to be weird, they don't want to be punished by the Christian God, all these things, you know. So people, out of fear, they blend themselves in, they trample on their own personality, they trample on their characters, on their uniqueness, and then they wonder why they are falling under the radar. Nobody sees them. Many of these people don't even make YouTube videos in the first place. And then they see their favorite YouTuber who has crowned himself, literally, and metaphorically. And that's great. I love that YouTuber with the crown, the self-made crown. You should all be Napoleon Bonapartes. You should crown yourselves, I put this crown on here. So, or a sponge crown. So, you should crown yourself. You should love yourself. That's what I do, You should love yourselves. You're cute, lovely, love yourselves. No matter what some other people say, even if you have a wrinkle, you need to love yourself still, So, but all of these people, they're terrified of showing themselves. They're terrified of getting hate. I mean, if you crown yourself, this is a fantastic thing, but you have to, of course, they all know that you're going to get hate too, Because people hate it when someone loves himself or herself. They hate it because they don't love themselves. So they don't want someone else to love themselves either. Misery loves company, The ego doesn't like something that leaps out of the ego. Real self-love is not ego. Okay? Ego is not self-love. Ego is grandeur. Ego is grandiose, paranoia, and those kind of things. Ego is self-importance. That's not love. That's not self-love. Self-love is when you can laugh about yourself. Self-love is bird-freeness. That is being able to be a clown, Self-love is to not take yourself seriously. Self-love is being good to yourself, to your body. And self-love is when you eat a salad with your friends, and even though they all eat some horrible, disgusting cow burgers or something, and you eat a salad, that's self-love. Even if they hate you for it, and why do you want to hang out with people like this in the first place? People eat like this who are cruel. Eating meat is murder. So, and then when their egos start to get really irritated at the vegan or vegetarian, you have to walk out the door, man or girl. You gotta walk out the door and say, I can find better friends, I really can. People are so concerned about being accepted, being tolerated, being liked, blending in, They all want to blend in. The women all want to look identical to each other. I don't know, man, that doesn't feel like self-love at all. To go under the knife is not self-love. That's self-consciousness. I have self-consciousness too, big time, But that's our chance. This is our chance to practice self-love anyway, even when we feel self-conscious. Very, very important. And this lining up to get an autograph from a person who is famous on YouTube and who has that bird freeness that you adore, that you would like to have. Why don't you do it yourself, man? Why don't you do this? Don't be the one in line with your book and you want the writer to sign his name or a little cartoon figure or whatever. Make your own cartoon figure. Have your own signature. Crown yourself. This is very amazing. The fashion designer Vivienne Westwood, I love her. She makes crowns, literally. She makes paper cardboard crowns with Pamela Anderson together and some other people. And those are self-empowerment crowns. And everyone can do this. Everyone can make himself. You can go to the 99-cent store. Better yet, you cut apart a shipping box, okay? It's not that difficult. You cut apart a shipping box, you cut it into crown shape, whatever you like shape, you fit it around your head, and you tape it the way it fits, and then you can paint it any way you want to, in any color you want to. You can even paste fabrics on it, make it look even more fancy. You can put rhinestones on it and amazing things, I just had this idea to make a crown out of cardboard from a cardboard box and then glue some fabrics on it, like this kind of material, this fleece type of material. This is just a fabric rest, that I use to make myself choker necklace with. And it looks cute. I like the way that looks and it feels good. And it doesn't pinch, because there's nothing to pinch. I don't like necklaces because the regular necklace made out of metal loops and stuff, that pinches into the skin. I have very sensitive skin, so no, I don't like that. I like everything to be buffered and I like everything to be pink and womb-like. So, and that's my ideal. That's my ideal home, to have everything womb-like. It's been like this for a very long time. When I was 13, I participated in an architectural competition. My dad is an architect, so he came across this thing, architecture for kids, participate. Of course, I didn't win anything. My stuff was not seen again. But I painted this huge house in the shape of an abstract pig in different colors and all round and like a dome house. And I still to this day like the idea of a dome house, and I just feel it, the dome house is the future because of the storms and all of this. But also it feels good, it feels like you created your own womb, and that's amazing. But the dome house needs to be completely transparent, like a greenhouse. At least translucent, so that the light can come in. But it's also nice to look outside into the forest and onto the meadows and seeing the flowers outside. And so that's nice. And seeing the deer walk by. And in that dome house, could be very big. It could span 4 acres or 10 acres or 100 acres. So, and you can create your paradise inside. So that's always been a dream of mine. So we need to create our own paradise. We need to allow our own weirdness, the word weird should even be recycled, because nothing is weird. So people only use that word if they adhere to a very regimented, fascist, cult, religion, group, peer group, society. Yeah. So whatever falls out of that is regarded as weird. But things are not weird. Right? Weird is good, so let's not use weird anymore. Weird, there's also judgment involved. Weird means this strange thing is unacceptable. That's kind of like what weird says. But strange is good, and it's acceptable, and it's welcomed, and it's creative. It is in the flow, you know, that's what's important. Really important to be in the flow of things. And this here is gorgeous. And it's coming along. I have this thing in here to protect this the colors from sticking together, because when they stick together, and particularly at hot temperatures, then it can, when you open it, it can tear itself apart. So I have this bookmark in there and some nice glitter stuff. That's all packaging material. I reutilize all of the packaging material. And some packaging material is amazing. I don't buy glitter stuff anymore because glitter stuff's not good. It can end up in the ocean, and the ocean animals, when they eat that, they can choke on this, and they can even die a gruesome death. I hate to even say this, but this is what's happening, and that's why I don't buy glitter. I don't buy glitter items. I don't buy glitter nail polish. I don't buy any kind of glitter makeup or anything that has glitter on it anymore. I pay very close attention to this. So, because I don't want that, these tiny metal particles, because they contain metals, and when they're in chunks like this, they end up in the ocean mammals, and that's not good. Okay. That's horrible. People need to know that. So please don't buy glitter for Halloween. You know, there are so many other things you can do. You know, using packaging materials is really, this is really the way to do it, because you don't have to spend any money on it. It is a creative thing. You can make something out of it that is amazing. You can let your fantasy flow. And I want everyone to do this. You know, I want everyone to let their fantasy flow and not worry about other people, what they think of you. If they call you weird, that's okay. You know, let them call you weird. It doesn't matter, you know. Or if someone thinks you're a slut or something, you know. Like, I was thinking about this girl, Amanda Todd, earlier today. That was a couple of years ago. She was bullied by men on the internet, a young teenage girl. And they bullied her into showing nudes, and then they blackmailed her with that. And she ended up committing suicide. It's absolutely horrific. And that's why I say to people, you gotta stay absolutely strong. Never buckle under any pressure, okay? No matter what. Never buckle under pressure. This is particularly a message for teenagers. Never, 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 never think that an adult knows so much more than you, or has something to say to you, or has any kind of power over you. They don't, okay? They are toddlers in adult bodies. That's what they are. Okay? It is the next generations that I count on. Okay? You guys are the ones who are helping to make the world a better place. Okay? Because you already come equipped with that sensitivity and the creativity, and there are people who have already done a lot of pre-work. All the feminists, they have done a lot of pre-work. So you grow up into the world of feminism, diversity, and so that gives you the chance, you know, to make something out of your life, and also to really see the comparison between this and that and this and that. So That's very good. So I count on you guys. Never think that someone who is an adult or older knows so much more or has any kind of authority over anything. Even if they think they have authority, even if they put themselves into authoritarian positions, that doesn't mean they have an authority, okay? That doesn't mean they know ethics, or I don't even use the word moral anymore. That doesn't mean they know anything about the world, about love, about right conduct, so dharma. They don't know anything about it. So even the many Buddhists don't know much. They go by the book, which is a better book than a lot of other books, but it's still dogmatic. We need to think outside of books and outside of dictations and outside of any kind of scripture and indoctrination. Okay. Just because something is old doesn't mean it has an authority over us. Okay. So, and I agree with Graveyard Girl. We need to respect inanimate objects, yes. But let's not get into worshiping. So that's always a fine line there. Treat everything well. Treat your skin well. Treat most of all your animals well. Okay. Treat also your computer well, and treat all the other inanimate objects well. It's very important. Okay. Peace starts with the way we talk, the way we act and conduct ourselves towards anything. Very important. Never give someone any kind of authority credit. Never, never, never. And never worry about what someone thinks. If they think of you, if they call you a slut, don't worry about it. It's their problem, not yours. Okay? There is no slut. That doesn't exist. Right? It's good to be slutty. It's good. That means we celebrate our lives, our bodies. Okay? That means we don't buckle under pressure. That means we're sexual. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah. It's good to be slutty. That's why I don't even use that word. It's just, it's life. It's abundance. I call it abundance. We replace the word slut with abundant girl. Yeah. That's so much better. Not be afraid of anything. And if you're with an asshole guy, then leave the asshole guy. Go to someone who's nice, someone who respects you, someone who's gentle, verbally and physically gentle. Not trying to have this power over you or something. Yes, he is. There's a lot of men who think that they think it is part of a normal sexuality to have this power over a woman. They have learned this their entire lives. The entire society is made up out of this. It's always about this spanking and dominion over a woman, and all of this is all completely neurotic bullshit. Throw that out. Women are equally intelligent. We have different areas in the brains that we are focused on, and that's good. It has to do with evolution. Women in general go more into the field of metaphysics and philosophy and psychology, which I fall into, of course, and Graveyard Girl falls into it. And the men in general, they gravitate more towards mechanics and engineering and those kind of things. So, and it's okay. But that doesn't make one better than the other, or that doesn't make one more knowledgeable than the other. We just have different interests, and we get knowledge in different fields, and then we have equal knowledge but in different fields. Okay, and we can complement each other. That's how it should be seen. Okay, and it's a wonderful thing, you know, and it's great. That doesn't make, you know, the men, they're afraid that if they let the woman make decisions in bed and stuff like this, then they feel like they feel submissive, or they don't feel masculine anymore. It's complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. You are masculine no matter what. Whether you are underneath or on top, you are masculine. Okay? And the woman is feminine, and it's great, and it's wonderful. And the gay community, they teach us a lot on this. They teach us a lot on equanimity, on egalitarianism. Okay, so let's listen to this. But be that sexual being that you are, you know, straight or gay, doesn't matter. Be the sexual being that you are, and embrace your sexuality the way it is. If you're straight, embrace it. Don't let someone pressure you into trying something that you don't want to do, that doesn't feel. I tried being with women. It didn't feel right to me. It just didn't. I mean, it didn't feel wrong, but it didn't feel like this is what I want. I wasn't excited about this. That didn't turn me on. Let's put it that way. So I like big burly men. But the women who like other women, embrace it, you know, embrace it, and find those who like that too. And for the gay men, find gay men and come out. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of peer pressure. Don't be so afraid. Let them laugh, let them do or say whatever they want. You are attracted to the people you are attracted to, and that no one can change that. So if you're a straight man and you like women, then go for that. And be nice to the women. Be nice to them. You know, if you can't be nice, then there's a serious issue going on that needs to be worked on before you ever get into dating at all. If you can't be nice. I've seen men and boys my whole life that, boy, I just talked to my brother the other day about some very, very rich kid in Germany. I'm not going to say the name. And a very sweet guy, but he just could not be nice in terms of, hey, I like you, you know? No, he had to do pranks on me. That was the only way he could in any way approach me, with a prank. This is nice with the sun. I love it. Oh, this is lovely. The infinite is helping me make this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, blue God. This is wonderful. It even blends out my triple chin. It puts my triple chin on fire. That's nice. So yeah, a lot of boys, they they can't approach a girl or a woman, or a lot of men out there, they can't approach a woman without this prank attitude or troll attitude or something. It's not good. There's an issue behind it, a real big issue. And I'm not putting down the judge hammer. As I always say, I don't judge you in an emotional way. We have to judge people in terms of community protection, legal type of judgment. But I don't judge anyone anymore emotionally. The ultimate emotional judgment. I mean, I certainly don't want to be around some people when they're violent and all of this. And some people, they do need to be headbutted, absolutely, for their own good and for the good of the community, absolutely. But I don't, as Robert Sapolsky said, I recommend to people to watch his lectures at Stanford University. Dr. Robert Sapolsky, amazing scientist and professor. And he said he came to the conclusion through his research that we have no free will in terms of our own biochemistry. Our brains are formed in a specific way. And intrauterine there can be a lot of things that can go wrong, a lot of things from A to Z, including character flaws can start because of developmental stagnation in the womb of the mother. That was the papa dog. He made a fart. Papa dog is farting. So so a lot of things can go wrong. That's why, when people grow up and they have biological problems and they have neurological problems and they have distortions in the brain formations and so on, or atrophies in the brain formations, and then they have a childhood on top of it that compounds it, that does not even allow these people to heal in any way, bad nutrition, violence, and so on. That makes someone become a criminal, or have antisocial personality disorder. And there are so many things that we can already do now that can reshape our brain, our neuronal plasticity. Veganism, raw whole food vegan living. Okay. Watch John Kohler's videos. He has a channel called Grow Your Own Greens. Very important information, very important. And Raw Food Christina, very important information that they put out there for us. To heal the brain, actually. The brain has so much plasticity that it can actually correct itself, even though it has been stagnated during embryonic development. It's amazing, but I don't know how far it will correct itself. So probably not all the way, right? But it can correct itself to a certain degree where maybe living becomes okay, where it's no longer painful or torture. People with severe depression also, or with certain tendencies or something, and that can correct itself. So to a certain degree, but it can certainly correct itself in terms of becoming more peaceful, having less emotional struggle and pain. Okay, I was raw food vegan for about 3 weeks, and everything healed up. And then because my husband has food addictions, he lured me back into pasta, and then I ended up eating candy again and all of this. But I completely quit all meat, and I quit all milk. So I used to drink milk in my tea, in my pear coffee. I don't do this anymore. Helga Tackreiter talked me out of drinking milk altogether. So I had a longer conversation with her on the phone. It was awesome to talk to Helga Tackreiter. She's a very famous animal rights activist. In New Jersey, she has a cow sanctuary there, and Ingrid Newkirk brings her cows that they rescue from the factory farms, and Helga takes them in. And Helga told me something amazing. You gotta hear this. She said, when there's full moon, this is so amazing. She watches from her upper bedroom. She looks over the meadow where all of her cows are. They're all around her house. And they don't have to do anything, because they just live their whole lives in peace and happiness. And she watches the cows, male and female cows. This is so amazing. When the moon shines, the cows meet in the middle of the meadow in a circle, and they start dancing with each other. This is so incredibly amazing. This is such a beautiful, it just shows us when you give animals that peace, just as if we give humans that peace, you give children that peace. Jiddu Krishnamurti said it when he talked to teachers. He said, a child can only learn when he or she has absolutely no fear at all. Then we can learn. We're eager to learn if we have no fear at all, if we feel safe, And the same with the animals, the same with the dogs, the same with the cows and the horses. When they feel safe, then they're eager to do things and try things out and run and even jump, but only on their own accord, not because someone drills them into it. Or in tracks, where horses are drilled to race, or they're even drugging them they're giving them dopamines and stuff like this, which is horrible. Okay? This is a hormone that should be avoided. Dopamine, the addiction cycle loop in the brain has a lot to do with dopamine. The natural dopamine, that's also very bad for us. And then they give dopamine artificially even to horses. All horrible. Horses, they want to run on their own when they're happy, not when they're drilled. Okay? That's why I don't support any of this. I would never go to a horse racetrack, ever. Never, never, never. Okay? So, but I see I've been talking now about psychology, and I really wanted to talk about haunted houses. I'll do this for the next 15 minutes until the video cuts off. So, Halloween time and all of this, and I've been watching Graveyard Girl Bunny's videos, and very interesting. I find this very interesting to get into metaphysics, to get into those kind of things, because this is not just about spooky and excitement. This is really goes into psychology. And I wanted to say to Bunny, that doll that you had, I talked to her, it's a little girl. It's a real sad story. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this now. Maybe I'll talk about this another time. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about this tomorrow, make a whole video about this tomorrow. But I talked to her, and she's okay now. She's safe. Okay, she left the doll. The doll is empty now. The doll is just a doll. And the doll is okay where it is now. Okay, but the soul has left the doll. And no other soul is going to go into it. The soul has made peace with herself and thanked me for it. It's infinitely touching. I know a lot of people they're gonna go, oh, this is insane, but you know, I go very deep into metaphysics. You know, I talked to that doll. I felt, and I saw the entire tragedy about it. And what I wanted to say to you is that, you know, the reason why you were so attracted to the doll is because it resonates. And I'll make the video. I'll talk about this in depth tomorrow. I don't know if I should talk about this because this is personal. So, and I don't know if I should talk about someone that people know on the internet, and so, but you know, maybe I can get your permission. Maybe I can ask you if I can make a video about this and talk about this. That would be awesome if we can all talk about these things in public. My goodness, that would help a lot of people. But I know that, you know, we have our apprehension and we have our fear and we have our worry about haters and all of this. I understand. We have to take this slow. But again, never be afraid what someone else says or whether we get hate or not. There's always people who hate, and that's because they're in a very unrestful state. Just like the doll was. The doll's soul that left now went into the Orion Nebula. Literally into heaven. So all I can say now is there was incredible disappointment in that story. Unbelievable. Unbelievable hurt, personal treason, personal betrayal that happened there. And this thing happens to almost all women, to all girls.